When you do genealogical research, sometimes you find family secrets.
I found out only after my mother's death what her life was like and that she was in concentration camps.
Richard Oppenheimer found his mother's diary, which he called her banishment to the East.
She did wake up in the middle of the night many times screaming because she would have nightmares, but she would never tell me what those dreams were about.
His mother Erica and grandmother Lena were two of just 3 survivors from their German town called Bad Wildingen. Research led him to the fates of other family members.
I'm going to break down and cry in a minute now.
Thinking about your mother?
Yes. Thinking about my mother, the horror of my aunt being raped, having to hide her pregnancy from her parents, having had a baby that was 4 years old that was killed by the Nazis. And I'm the only one in my family that knows this.
It's a big burden.
It certainly is a big burden. And I think without Johannes, I wouldn't be able to carry it alone.
This is what bonds a wounded group that could have been strangers. We're waiting for Johannes Groteca, a German historian visiting the U.S. for the first time. He's been researching our family members for years, their lives forever changed by the Holocaust. They all happen to live in Bad Wildingen. It's the same obscure town where he lives.
Nice to meet a local.
Gary Buchheim's father and uncle grabbed Torahs from Bad Wildigen's Copper Dome Synagogue hours before it was torched. Finally, the historian arrives.
Can I give you a hug?
Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah, hello, Sasha. Nice to meet you.
Groteca first contacted me by email in 2017. He wanted to know more about my grandparents, Tosca Klein and Leo Obermann. She fled the Nazis, and he was forced into German concentration camps, where Nazis beat his head, then put him under x-rays for experimentation. By the time I was born, Tosca had died, and Papi Leo, as I called him, had less hair than me. Sometimes he'd wear a wig to cover up the skin cancer he developed. The cancer and ensuing operations must have been a constant reminder of the genocide. But he died when I was 12, and I got older wishing I could have asked him more questions. Today, our little consort heads into the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum together, first taking group pictures,
A little bit closer.
then walking into the dark past, led by one man.
Yeah, right here.
Yes, this happened too.
This happened to him
in
everywhere.
all over Germany, yes.
So my grandfather's business would have been boycotted.
Yes, you're right.
So many countless generations lost.
My mother and I find Bad Wildingen in a long list of towns where Nazis sent Jewish residents to their deaths. We watch footage of Nazi medical experiments, and we stop in a tall room filled with broken families like our own. Through records, Groteca discovered an aunt I never knew, a daughter my grandfather had kept secret, with a wife who had been secret too. Maybe that was why he would cry when he spoke of a young niece named Lolly. He would say he dressed her up and put makeup and jewelry on her to try to make her look older. But Nazis still took Lolly away. Even historians stumble on family secrets.
My grandfather worked at a railway station, and I think he was a small Nazi. And during my researches, I found out that they lived in a house where a Jewish family was, and this family was murdered. And this was a family secret.
Why is doing this work important?
Yes, I think we can change the past, and I was born after the war. But I think it is our duty to make the future better again, and that means to work together with the descendants of former Jews who lived in Bad Wildungen in order to create a better future. That's our task.
The group also visits the German embassy, where an official tells us applications for German citizenship rose during former President Trump's term. Do you feel less safe in the United States today?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like, the Nazi power, the white supremacists are rising again.
He says some people in this group have ironically obtained German citizenship.
Maybe we're going to have to leave someday, and I want to be better prepared than my parents were.
And there's this term, inherited trauma. where a traumatic experience from our ancestors gets passed down and lives within us. And I really felt that day, Chance.
And Sasha, some of these people tell you they feel a threat brewing here in the United States now. How so?
Well, when this group met up, it happened to be on the 5-year anniversary of the Unite the Right rally. Remember, it was the first time we really heard those chants of Jews will not replace us. Now, we're all very familiar with the groups that are associated with anti-Semitism. FBI Director Chris Wray, who was appointed by then-President Trump, has warned of the threat of white supremacy and domestic terrorism. And now, according to the American Jewish Committee, a report out last year, 1 in 4 Jews in this country have experienced some form of anti-Semitism in the past year. So it's a growing concern in that community.
1 in 4. And it seems like for some of the families, the plan B might be Europe, but then now they're concerned about the dynamics developing there.
That's right. I mean, today we're seeing the election of a hard-right figure, a Georgia Maloney, other far-right groups rising in some of these countries. At the same time, they have German citizenship. And there's this sense that I got that Germany has learned from the past. It has reflected on its own history. And certainly the problem of neo-Nazis is still in existence in Germany. But there's a sense that the country has moved on, and there are other countries to choose from if you have EU membership. You don't have to go to Italy or other places that seem to be moving more to the right.
Sasha, Ingber, thank you.